Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 5.
Welcome in Live at 5. I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lompon. You're watching Mississippi Live Weather on what's been a more tolerable Tuesday. The increase in temperatures is going to eventually come with an increase in some rain chances, but very few signs of that out there for today as we look out and about across North Mississippi. At 5, we're looking at cold but more bearable conditions on the way for the next couple of mornings here. Really looking toward the extended forecast that we kind of tease this a little bit on social media. Warmth is the weather word as we get a little closer to Christmas, as milder temperatures are definitely ahead. But rain chances will return as well, because anytime we have milder conditions this time of year, typically that means more moisture eventually yielding better rain chances. And so timing those out, including a severe weather threat that just barely clips part of the area. And that's this week. More on that in a moment here in the Room to Room Weather Center. 46 that temperature at 6 p.m. We're 41 by 9, 40 degrees by midnight, and back into the mid-30s by early tomorrow morning. Limited chances for a little bit of moisture there. When you have, as you can see, temperatures that are in the 30s like this, it's not a lot of moisture. That's why we don't have storms yet. But over time, later this week, those chances do increase a bit more as well. Outside at this instant in Greenville, we're coming in 48 degrees for that temperature. Feels like 48. Those winds out of the south, about 8 miles per hour. So maybe just a little bit of a wind chill this evening as we have, again, mainly high and fairly thick high clouds we call cirrus clouds out there. Mitchell Cunningham Bowling, of course, sponsoring our Tupelo Tower Cam, and appreciate them for doing that. And in Tupelo, most spots getting that feels like temperature a little cooler with the 40s out there, but certainly magnificent improvement over where we were 24 hours ago and the really cold temperatures that we had. So not a lot of complaints with what's out there today. Just a reminder that relatively speaking, things are a lot more mild. In Smithville, again, those high, thin clouds showing up. Well, thin in spots, got a little contrail there as well as we look back toward Cell Tower there in the distance. 48 the temperature, feels like 44 degrees at this instant. You know, those looks on Mississippi Live Weather Radar, no precipitation out there at this time on that. It's all high, thin, mainly ice crystals showing up there that aren't going to get anywhere near the surface anytime soon. We're about 50 in Houston at this instant. Good evening to you in Newport at 54 degrees, 54 also Kosciuszko, but 49 in Boonville, Red Bay 49, and 46 in Amory and Columbus as of the 5 o'clock hour. All these temperatures a lot warmer than yesterday at this time. As you can see, more than 10 degrees above where we were 24 hours ago. So huge improvement, making all the difference on your outdoor plans on this Tuesday evening. Maybe in a lot of ways would have been better for a Christmas parade this evening, but it's not just here. It's all across the region. Those temperatures are a lot warmer. I mean, you can see some spots back there toward Lubbock, Texas, my old stomping grounds out there, 23 degrees warmer, and some spots up there into the Ohio Valley, also more than 20 degrees warmer than they were yesterday at this time. But this is an important number. It's our measured moisture based on the same scale as the temperature. The dew point is what we refer to this as. I'm going to put this onto a 12-hour loop here. This is important because this is going to be one of the limiting factors on storm chances a little later this week. But moisture's starting to come back. Watch this. See how far north some of that green is now versus 12 hours ago? So that's that moisture starting to come out of the Gulf of Mexico. That's associated with high pressures. You can see back to the east of us, well to the east of us there off of the eastern seaboard. So with that in mind, we have, again, those southerly winds. Those southerly winds, again, bringing up more moisture out of the Gulf of Mexico. It takes a little time for that to happen, but that is going to begin in haste over the next 24 hours and really start to kind of set the stage for better rain chances a little bit later on this week. The rain chances we've kind of alluded to on multiple occasions. Clearing that off, system that'll kind of work to bring us more active weather. What you don't just naturally see here is there's kind of a disturbance right about there as well. What meteorologists actually call a baroclinic leaf showing up there. I know, weird turn, right? But you see a kind of looks like a leaf, so to speak. Anyway, regardless of what it looks like, that little wave is what brings us kind of this initial wave of some showers that could come in and better chances for storms eventually coming behind that as well. As we bring things in a little closer, those clouds, again, thickening up a bit more here on the wide shot across the state of Mississippi. Even though we have the thick clouds, the rainfall still back out into Arkansas and Oklahoma as we head into this evening. Maybe one or two bits of this, including rumbles down in Texas, but most of what we see, again, back to the west of us, this is just showers. Let's bring it in a little closer here on Mississippi Live Weather Radar, our futurecast, showing only one or two little blips of yellow kind of mixing with this. So this is mainly lighter variety stuff, but 6, 7, 8 in the morning. Our meteorologist Maggie McCauley tracking a little bit of this out there for the folks still with some school, and of course a lot of folks still in school this week. So some sprinkles possible, to maybe even a moderate shower or two to begin the first part of your early Wednesday morning. We'll look more at that here in just a moment. So hour-by-hour forecast as we go over the next 24 hours. We're 36 degrees at 6 a.m., 43 by 9 a.m., 51 as you look toward noontime with 56 by 3 p.m. Again, that puts us pretty close to what we typically expect. Now, what are we, on less than a week away from the beginning of winter? So this is typically where we have some of our cooler high temperatures of the year. So no shock that we're mid-50s out there. And those rain chances, mainly first part of the day, pretty limited in overall impact. But we have some out there, meaningful moisture-wise. 1/10 of an inch would be overdoing it. Most spots less than that, and then drying as we go into the afternoon with kind of this quick moving little wave coming in. But there are some storm chances and possibly some strong storm chances that we are tracking looking ahead. The very latest on when those could arrive, that severe risk area as it's outlined at this point here, because yes, some of us do fall under that, as Mississippi Live Weather continues here from the Room to Room Weather Center right after this.
Give the gift of a delicious burger from Bulldog Burger, a soup and sandwich from Sweet Pepper's Deli, appetizers and cocktails from The Grill, or even a wood-fired steak from Harvey's. Choice is the perfect gift. An all-in-one gift card from Eat With Us.
Enjoy your home for the holidays with store-wide savings at Room to Room. 50% off, 48-month special financing, and as our gift to you, a free accessory buyer's card. There's something here for everyone, including gift cards. Merry Christmas from Room to Room Tupelo.
You may see a teen struggling to find his way. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we see a teen gaining the confidence and skills to land his first job. Kids today need people to see their potential and help them achieve it. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we do whatever it takes to help kids succeed. Because when we see young people, we see limitless possibilities. Do you? Join us, Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's Mississippi's Chief Meteorologist, Matt Lobhon.
Might be hard to wrap your brain around this, but we are going to be warming up considerably more over the next few days. I mean, when you think about the fact that Monday morning we had teens for low temperatures, all the red behind me might seem somewhat foreign. You're watching Mississippi Live Weather here at 5 o'clock. I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lopon from the Room to Room Weather Center, and looking at the forecast outlook 6 to 10 days out, just beyond the 7-day forecast, expecting most indications are that we're going to be above normal, even going beyond that. Yes, through the Christmas holiday. It's not just us, it's most of the country. So for those dreams of a white Christmas, this is a big red, not going to happen, unfortunately, depending on your perspective on how that goes there. So warmth is the weather story. We'll get more into just how far above coming up during our 6 o'clock broadcast, but no white Christmases here across North Mississippi associated with this, unfortunately, for the folks that maybe would be looking for something along those lines. Outside, though, it's high, thin clouds. Some ice crystals up in that, but it's way up there in Batesville. Again, good evening to y'all in Panola County this evening, coming in with a dew point at 16. So that air is still very, very dry, but we do expect eventually more moisture is going to start coming in as our winds shift more southeast, maybe south direction, and that'll start bringing that moisture up from the Gulf of Mexico. That'll yield some of those rain chances slightly later on this week, and there will be some storm potential that goes along with that as well, including the potential maybe that we could have some strong to severe thunderstorms for a few locations. Looking here at the very latest on the Mississippi Live Weather Radar, we don't show any precipitation out there, as we kind of alluded to. Things are dry, things are clear. But looking toward Thursday, as you can see, we do have a limited severe weather risk. Again, right there at the Tennessee state line, locations up into Tennessee, kind of the focal point for that. Some of the link factors, moisture, but there's also a better lift to the north that'll kind of help impact things, upper level support as well. So a limited severe weather risk at this point to the north. Not impossible that maybe this expands southward, but as I show you Futurecast here in a minute, underimpressed at least at this time period out. Though that a lot of times is the way models look when we're a couple days out from one of these storm systems. So certainly we will see, but confidence certainly greater of things to be more active up to the north. But confidence very good that it's only cloud cover for tonight. As you progress throughout your Tuesday evening, that cloud cover is thick, but it is high and that means no precipitation coming from it initially. And that's why when you start to see a few showers out there toward Marietta, Arkansas, and out there toward around Carlisle and back toward Dumas by around 2 o'clock in the morning, the majority of this probably isn't making it all the way to the surface. And as it moves in, yes, we will have a little bit of moisture, but the thinking is that this is really just sprinkles, maybe where you see some of the yellows out there closer to, say, Charleston, north of Greenwood, back toward Indianola. Maybe that's just some lighter to moderate rainfall. I'm even hesitant to say moderate rainfall. That could be overdoing it. But what this is doing is it's insulating us, and that means this. Look at these temperatures. They are much more manageable, as you can see, for the first part of early Wednesday morning versus where we've been recently. We're mid-30s out there, so obviously a huge improvement in that regard versus where we've been. We'll be 40, as you can see there, Clarksdale, 41 Cleveland, Belzona coming in about 41 degrees as well. So yeah, looking at obviously what is a milder morning and few complaints related to that. Wind chill temperatures pretty similar to the actual temperatures, maybe only taking off a degree or two, but yeah, very manageable compared to where we've been, largely because of that cloud cover moving in, working to insulate us, kind of act like a blanket. So your IMPC school day forecast, we're 36 degrees for your drop-off temperature in the morning, 49 as we look toward lunchtime, 55 by the last bell, under what should be, again, partly cloudy skies by the afternoon. But again, showers early, mostly cloudy, and probably, obviously, some sprinkles. I don't think we necessarily need full rain jacket, but if the kids are standing out there for a while, there will be some spots that are damp enough that hopefully they won't get full-on soaked early on there. You see, we pick things up 5:30 in the morning. Again, those showers back out here closer to I-55. So you're that zone where we probably, if you're out for the early bus ride in the morning, do need some kind of umbrella initially there. And depending, just how late you get out, by 6:30 or so, we show Holly Springs back toward around Grenada. We're looking there closer again by 9 a.m. Tupelo toward around Florence, Alabama, and back out toward Winona and Eupora. But again, this is fairly light, all things considered. And we expect it to probably not add up to much more than, a tenth of an inch. Really might be overdoing it if we're honest. So not a lot of meaningful moisture out of that. And then we start drying things as progress toward 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon with showers, yes, up toward Lawrenceburg, Tennessee, back out there toward Arkansas, but not necessarily over top of us. And that's just, again, rogue sprinkles back in northwest Mississippi as we head near Wednesday afternoon, maybe up near the Tennessee state line, but honestly, probably even pointing it out, so overdoing it. Not a lot of meaningful stuff out of this. So temperature-wise, we're looking at highs expected to be about 56 in Tupelo, 58 degrees in Houston. Again, normal this time of year is 55, so this is just almost right on what we expect. But your north to south difference, you get 53 versus 62 Kosciuszko. That difference there is that moisture coming back out of the Gulf of Mexico, starting to prime the atmosphere, preparing us for a better chance for rainfall and those storms a little later this week. So Wednesday, we're still ahead of that. We do show, again, a few showers out there as of Wednesday in the evening, but most of us are dry. Wide shot here starts showing the players, right? So we have this front coming in from the north and west. We have the moisture returning from the Gulf of Mexico. Do we get enough impacts in enough quantities for us to have more active weather? Because if you notice, down here closer to Hattiesburg, back there north of New Orleans, South Mississippi, south and east of Jackson, that is where we have, again, a few of those that could be some thunderstorms mixing in. But then we also have that front coming in from the north. So I'm going to see if we can get all the players on here, and we'll zoom in as necessary. So again, showers and some rumbles down south. A lot more moisture down here. That means more fuel for thunderstorms. And even though they don't officially have a severe weather risk at this point, this is a lot of times a setup with these winter systems where you do get a couple of these storms to rotate and possibly try to produce a brief tornado spin up down close to the coast. We'll be watching that for our folks down there, Panhandle Weather out of Panama City Beach. If you happen to go to the beach, by the way, I know our family does. We tend to go down there toward Destin, that part of Florida. Panhandle Weather does the same thing we do here, but down there, they do a spectacular job. So it might be worthwhile downloading their app or certainly have that ready to go in case you're down there during active weather season. And this time of year, they tend to get severe weather, believe it or not, from time to time with these systems. They'll, of course, keep you hooked up there. And we're, of course, watching things up here in North Mississippi. Now, as we go in your futurecast on Thursday, notice here we have some isolated showers kind of developing ahead of our front. This is one of our better rain chances for the next few days. It doesn't show a lot that are overly strong. And even up here in Tennessee, where we were showing you that severe weather risk a moment ago, nothing here looks particularly impressive. So all of that to say, I'm underwhelmed on what we're looking at as far as severe weather is concerned on Thursday, but things could change. Even a little bit more moisture primes the atmosphere more and increases that odds that maybe we have a couple isolated, stronger thunderstorms. A little heavier back out here into Alabama, Jasper, back toward Tuscaloosa, up toward Huntsville. But for our area, behind this, drier air comes in and that scoops out the moisture, and that leaves us a little bit cooler for the latter part of this week. The last time we say that until probably beyond the Christmas holidays, which is looking pretty mild. So temperature-wise on your Thursday will be about 67 degrees there in Belzona for the high, 66 Greenwood, 65 degrees in Grenada, 65, pretty common number out there. Again, this is not record warmth. 74 is our record, but we're only about 10 degrees away from a record high, well above our normal, again, for your Thursday. And these numbers reflect that amount of moisture out there, even a little more moisture, and these are going to be higher, and that will then enhance the potential that we could have maybe a couple of stronger thunderstorms. Speaking of things that are higher, the wind for the Alabama game. Big playoff game there in Oklahoma, 7 p.m. Kickoff on that on Friday. It is going to be a windy day. As you can see, sustained wind speeds around 22 miles per hour out of the south. That will probably be a factor in the kicking game. We'll see whether or not it comes to the kicking game on that. But of course, a lot of folks could be watching that one. Tends to be pretty windy there on the plains this time of year, speaking from someone who grew up out that direction. Ole Miss versus Tulane, of course, some have called this the biggest game in Mississippi sports history. Maybe that's hyperbole. Either way, we're kind of showing out with our best possible outlook on that, right? I mean, 61 first play temperature against Tulane. We're 58 degrees by halftime and 50 by the conclusion of the game. But I mean, considering this is December, the weekend before Christmas, this is about as good as we're ever going to get. So, pretty nice, a little breezy, but I mean, come on. That's spectacular weather for the South. I mean, we tend to be warmer than other parts of the country. That's about as good as you're going to get. Here's a look at our 7-day forecast there. And you'll notice, again, we have those rain and storm chances there on Thursday. Stronger to the north, stronger to the south. Hopefully perfectly out of position here for that to be any kind of real issue there. We're 48 as we look toward Friday behind that front. And as we mentioned, that's the last time we can say cool, I think, for a while. Because, yeah, we're at the freezing point for early morning on your Saturday, but 62 Saturday afternoon. So we don't stay cool very long. And then by Sunday, some rain chances start coming back in as we bring more moisture out of the Gulf. Notice how we're practically 70 for Monday and Tuesday of next week. It is not inconceivable that in the warmest possible perspective, we could be close to record high temperatures as we arrive on your Christmas holiday. And yes, that Christmas holiday is just off of the 7-day forecast there. But as we kind of alluded to, and it's not going to be a giant secret on social media, it is looking really warm by then. Speaking of, if you don't have the Mississippi Live Weather app and you're watching us on Facebook, we appreciate y'all for watching us. But this thing is going to be very helpful if you're going to be going around and traveling. It will give you the forecast anywhere around the country. In a second here, you'll see there's a little delay, so I'll probably step back on the screen on that video on the top there. But yeah, this will give you the forecast anywhere. It'll give you alerts anywhere around the country as well. And as much as we mention the alerts on here and how great a job that the app does, it's important to talk about another thing here, and that is weather call. In this season where we're thinking about giving things and maybe stocking stuffers that last, rather than candy, rather than necessarily a gift card for something else, and of course, Eat With Us is one of our sponsors. They do gift cards. You should do one of those. But in addition to that, weather call. It might seem odd, but to give your family member peace of mind for the next 12 months, I think is a really cool way to say, I love you and you want to take care of them. You can sign up, as you can see with that QR code below me here. But what it will do is it will let them know if they're in the danger zone for a tornado. If a tornado is confirmed to be moving toward their location, it'll call them back. I just think it's that peace of mind that allows you to kind of live your life over the next 12 months, or maybe as a parent, to not worry about that kid of yours and what they're doing. Because I know as mine get older, I'm like, man, we're going to have, obviously, for all of them, the app and weather call and those multiple layers. You might say, why is a phone call still relevant? Because I don't know about you, but I've had a bunch of text messages come through in the last couple minutes here while I've been on the air. I get that every day. But if my phone rings, I know it because it keeps on buzzing. It keeps on going until I pick it up. So that's why weather call in an age of apps and other alerts, calls just break through. So anyway, I think it's a great way to, help support us here in Mississippi Live Weather, but it's also hands down the best way to keep your family safe in severe weather. So hence the reason we talk about it all the time and think it's a very worthwhile thing. So we're hoping that's not something we're going to deliver a lot of weather calls on Thursday. Certainly that's one of the things we're going to be talking about coming up here in the Room to Room Weather Center during our 6 o'clock broadcast, as we're looking ahead at not just that, but some of the forecast for the Christmas holiday, just how extremely warm is this? Because yes, if you're wanting a white Christmas, that's not going to happen. We'll kind of get a look at that in much more detail coming up during our 6 o'clock broadcast. Keep it here for the latest. Thank you for supporting us here on Mississippi Live Weather. I'm going to take 2 seconds here, double check the chat, see if anything's coming on in. Just some folks out there, Pod Talk Corinth, saying hi, and hi to you as well. We will see you coming up at 6 o'clock. And if you have weather pictures, I think we're still doing some of those merry and bright pictures as far as your indoor and outdoor Christmas light pictures. Share those with us as well. We'll see you at 6.
I felt accomplished after I got my diploma. Made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.